I like the tune. Tululu, tululu. Let's come back tuangazie magazeti ya hapa nyumbani. Tunaanza na gani leo? Tunaanza na The Standard. Yes, and yesterday watu ni kama wako wameshika hii story sana. The resignation of Eliud.
What?
Ruto-Owalo, who served as CS for ICT a while back. Now, recently, he was serving as Deputy Chief of Staff for Delivery and Government Efficiency. He resigned. He announced his presidential bid on Sunday. Now, people are looking at it in a different way. And immediately, ni kama watu imagine unatoka unasema me I'm running for president. Acha kutuambia, acha hiyo mambo yako. This is what media is doing.
Yeah.
The Standard has done that exactly. Now they're saying it is a game, Ruto-Owalo game. 2027 cards. When a deputy chief of staff whose level in government protocols is understood to be at cabinet level announced his departure, the message was interpreted in many ways. One interpretation is that this was not a routine administrative shuffle. Observers now believe that either the office he was serving in was dysfunctional, or that Ruto-Owalo is being dispatched to play a role in the larger 2027 Ruto matrix. Only a few have accepted Owalo's claim that he left President Ruto's office to contest the presidency in 2027. Yani unakuja unasema you're running for office
unacheza.
Unatuchezea, hakuna kitu kama hiyo.
You know, it's funny because even his name, in Luo, if you translate it, yeah.
Owalo.
Yes.
It means?
Joker.
Really?
Yeah.
Hata wewe ni kama umwamini.
Yeah.
All right, so quite a number of people have commented on this, and none of them appears to believe that this is a genuine bid for the presidency. All of them, Richard Onyonka, Millie Odhiambo, Tony Gashoka, others. You can read this story on page 4, and no one seems to believe that it's actually a genuine bid for the presidency. I think that's the worst for a politician, when you actually come out and say, I'm doing this, or
Is he a politician?
He is. He's worked with all these politicians in the political circles. He served under Raila Odinga for quite a while, when he was even the prime minister. So he is a politician. Ruto-Owalo State House bid, Ruto's rival or hidden card. Many people are questioning. So 2 headlines on page 4 under that. They say the former CS's political endgame had to decipher, pundits say. So that's one big story on The Standard. It's the only story featuring on the front page of this paper. Ukiingia ndani, I show speed. Hey, huyu jamaa. You know, and the millennials wamekuwa criticized on social media. So hata hamjui I show speed ni nani. Ni ukweli, most of us didn't know who he was. I asked someone, jana jioni I thought I was the only one. Nikaulizwa, I show speed ndio nani? It was difficult to explain. Okay, I've heard of the guy, but why is he so big?
You heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
You know,
on social media, I see him running and doing flips.
I heard of him on Friday. That's how bad it is.
I'm doing better. Our millennials bore kabisa. Anyway, but I'm a parent to Gen Z, so I do understand some of these things. Wanani sort. So he made I think a record-breaking online stream that hit 48 million views. 48 million views. That is almost the population of Kenya. It means it's like the entire Kenya watching something all together at once.
Right now it's at 87 million.
Wow.
As of yesterday.
It's beyond even our population. That's how big the guy is. And you don't know him.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Imagine that. Anyway, that's a story on page 2. You can read more on that. Historia ODM big split. Yesterday they had a meeting in Kilifi. Na nikamwambia Kilifi mbona wanaenda Kilifi. So it was a central management committee. Interestingly, Sifuna the SG missing. Deputy party leader Godfrey Osotsi missing. Sasa hiyo mkutano shida iko wapi? And learners reporting to grade 9, grade 10 also features there. Plus, tulikuwa nasema ati Kenya we don't focus on Ugandan elections. The Standard has done a spread on page 8 and 9. Simply to do with Uganda.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and the elections. So tusiseme ati ni kama hatufanyi hiyo maneno. Back page, fragile Man United. Hey, I love this description, fragile. Hit new low with FA Cup exit. You know now this team, there's nothing to fight for. They're not trying to save themselves from relegation. They're not... Hakuna kitu, you know, you have to fight for something. You have to live for something. I've looked at our director today, and is a Man United fan, and you can actually see he's lost all hope. He hana ile umfana yuko tu, nafikiri apewe kahawa. That's the standard.
All right. The Star, finya kabisa, utapambana na yeye mwenyewe. Counties drown in 8 billion shillings bank loans amid financial crisis. Borrowing driven by delayed cash release from Treasury, and counties weighed down by bank facilities. They include Vihiga, Laikipia Assembly, Kisumu Executive, Homa Bay Executive, Nairobi Executive, and Machakos Executive. All the governors are here on the front page. Counties weighed down by bank facilities. This story is on page 4 and 5. The story kubwa has been given 2 pages.
So they say that borrowing is driven by delayed cash releases from Treasury. So kukiwa na delay, wanaenda bank wanapata facility, alafu government wakirelease wanalipa hiyo. But unajua tayari kuna interest.
Now, COB anasema, that is Margaret Nyakango, with counties borrowing to pay salaries, there is limited capacity to fund infrastructural projects and other initiatives, which affects the overall delivery of services. Could high-fat cheese and cream protect brain from dementia? Hiyo ni mafuta. Can it protect brain from dementia? Dementia ni ile kusahau. Mafuta, okay. This story is on page 9. It's quite an interesting one. That researchers in Sweden followed 27,670 people over 25 years, tracking diets, lifestyle, and health. Their findings, published in the American Academy of Neurology journal, reveal that participants who consumed 50 grams of more of high-fat cheese daily, roughly 2 slices, had a 13% lower risk of developing dementia compared to those eating less than 15 grams. So it's actually nice.
Yes. You know, the good thing is about the continuous growth of technology and the myths around nutrition that have been debunked. Like for the longest time, ulikuwa unaambiwa usikule mayai daily. Sasa hiyo watu wanaambiwa kula mayai kabisa.
Kula nane in a day. Oh wow.
Sasa even issues around fat, dairy, of course, new discoveries coming up. Yeah. But I like the fact that the Star has been focusing on matters nutrition. Yesterday, the biggest headline was about nutrition and how it affects the economy, malnutrition. And now they're continuing with this. So it's something new for the Star, which is commendable. All right,
rival ODM and UDA hopefuls spell doom for coalition dream. The story is on page 7. Kule juu, go get a sweeping Mombasa clean street by street. That's a special feature. Matters Health Kenya to roll out once in 6 months HIV prevention jab. That is lenacapavir. That will cost...
That one is huge. It will cost how much?
About 6,000 yearly.
Yeah, 6,000 shillings.
Yes.
But unadungwa sindano moja.
Yes.
Every 6 months.
Yes.
And that prevents you from getting HIV.
Yes. That is PrEP. It's for HIV negative people, not HIV positive people.
Yes. Either way, hiyo itageuza maneno mingi sana. Sitaki kuingia hiyo maneno.
Lakini sasa what criteria do they use to qualify? Nataka nasema nimesema PrEP nikavunja wengine roho. Anyway, what criteria are they using to administer that lenacapavir?
I guess we'll get to know. But it's a game changer either way. So today the Star is not for sale. It comes with the complimentary MyGov pullout for government tenders and jobs. Grab yourself a copy of this paper, which is fresh, independent, and different.
Yes. People Daily.
People Daily imekaa kwa siasa hawasongi ngo. Nasema Scramble for 2027, Kenya's high-stakes cutthroat fight for State House. And they say it is a crowded field. And indeed, I do agree that even before we get to 2027, the number of people who've already declared the interest in the presidency cannot even fit on the front page here. They've only put about 8, including the president. But yesterday, hata ule mwenye amedeclare jana hata hajawekwa hapa Ruto-Owalo, na kuna wengine zaidi ambao wamedeclare presidency. So we have here President William Ruto, Kalonzo Musyoka, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, Rigathi Gachagua, Okiya Omtata, Jimmy Wanjigi, David Maraga, Boniface Mwangi. You know, even Miguna said he can run for president. He will run for president.
Yes.
Yeah. Ruto-Owalo. Kuna wengine wengi wamesema
Fred Ogola
anasema na hawajafita hapa. So probably we're looking at 2027 perhaps the most crowded field. But I remember there was a time we had 13 candidates for president. The ballot paper was the longest. Unafungua hivi inafunguka. Unatafuta presidential candidate wako huko chini. So we might have something similar this time round. Other stories here, why Gachagua is likely to avoid the Mbeere North Round 2 duel. Remember, because of the by-elections of last year, November 27th, some of those people who vied won or lost. Some of them had actually left their positions in the county assembly.
Wow.
So now those places are vacant, and now there'll be by-elections. There have also been a number of transitions, deaths of a number of MCAs as well. That will, I think there's also an MP, a member of parliament who died. Yes, so there could be by-elections come sometime in February or March. How iShow Speed's visit to Kenya put Africa at the heart of global internet culture. And the very interesting discussion is that from that stream, now is when people are discovering, there are buildings in Africa. You mean you have skyscrapers in Africa? You can have a stadium.
What do you mean?
Yeah. You should see the conversation. That's the people daily.
Tuangalie matters business. Kenyans cling to checks as Africa peers move on. They're saying that Kenyan businesses and households are clinging to check payments as African peers increasingly walk away from one of the world's oldest banking instruments amid rising preference for digital transactions. Mnatoka bank, mnaenda the digital way.
The irony is that we were the first to actually embrace mobile money. M-Pesa. Mobile money sisi ndio wale kusema.
Yeah.
But when it comes to digital payments, we are lagging behind. We're still doing paper checks. So what's not happening there?
Yeah. How CBK's 9 trillion shillings mop-up stabilized the shilling. They say the CBK mopped up a cumulative 9.18 trillion shillings in liquidity from the banking sector in 2025, underlining efforts to keep the shilling stable. That's another story on page 14. On the ticker, MPs dump car loans, move 1.3 billion shillings to mortgage scheme. That nearly 1.3 billion shillings, or 90% of the taxpayer-funded car loan scheme for MPs and parliamentary staff, has been relocated to their mortgage plans.
Hawataki magari sasa. Wako na magari enough.
Unawajengea sasa.
Sasa wanatumia pesa kujenga, which is it's a good move.
Private developers pull back on affordable housing disruptions. More private investors have cut back on new home projects amid disruptions related to the state's affordable housing program. That's the Business Daily.
From the Business Daily, let's take a look at the Daily Nation. Matters ODM given prominence on the front page. Tuko na party leader pale. Nasema ODM decides. The Orange Democratic Movement's Central Management Committee has sanctioned pre-election coalition talks with the ruling United Democratic Alliance, taking a step towards formalizing a deal to back President Ruto's election campaign in exchange for a share of government positions should the coalition win the next elections. Interestingly, anyone who's opposed to this hakukuja hiyo mkutano. So Central Management Committee walituma statement after that. And it was a one-way statement. Or we will form coalitions, but starting with UDA. That is how it read. So it's more or less like wamepeana tick to form a coalition with UDA. That was the biggest takeout from that. Na akasema wa cool temperatures, but interestingly the SG was also a member of the Central Management Committee. Edwin Sifuna ule anasema mimi ndio Sifuna. Hakuwa. Deputy Party Leader GOtv is said to have been in South Africa. Lakini Sifuna inasemekana ati alikosa flight. Kuenda tu hapa Kilifi ukakosa flight. Ukweli usemwe.
Kama amesema alikosa.
Do you know how many airlines are there? Do you know how many flights in a day they are there? Hiyo meeting hata ingongojea 3 hours. Bado alikosa ndege. Anyway, hata SGR angepanda. Hata angepanda dereva wa kumkimbiza tu hapa Kilifi within 4 hours afike.
Flight or nothing. Alimiss flight. Alikosa.
Hata chopper. And you know people, you can take a chopper na hata ikilanda hapa Mtito Andei inaweza panda tena iende kwingine na ifike Kilifi. Lakini Sifuna alimiss flight yake. That's why he did not attend that meeting. So sources say a plot to suspend the SG, Edwin Sifuna, and Deputy Party Leader GOtv, who did not attend yesterday's meeting, was scuttled by moderates who argue it would further deepen divisions that have rocked the outfit. So kuna wale walisema hawajakuja watolewe. Interesting. The other story given prominence, hitches on first day of senior school admissions, na kuna vijana pale grade 10 learners at Kapsabet Boys High School. Wako very excited pale. This is a very momentous occasion for very many people.
Yes.
How nurse saved a life mid-flight is a story on page 3. And this is a nurse who attended to a distress call in the United Airlines flight headed for Boston, United States. Ni ile tu akiwa kwa ndege alafu kuna stress, mtu wako in distress, unauliza is there any medical professional on board, and she happened to be there and she saved a life. Her name is Irene Jepchirchir. You can read more on that story on page 3. They even have a face there. Irene Jepchirchir Masai in Massachusetts, Boston, United States of America. The other stories, of course, ODM opens door, 2027 election. Jumwa's defection from UDA. Ametoka UDA tena. Au akaenda pamoja ile pa. All right, I'm looking for any other interesting story. Owalo plotting new political party in 2027 power plays, another story on the inside pages. A spread on issues to do with schools, and on the back page, Northern West African teams again dominate the final 4 of the AFCON being played in Morocco. All right. So Morocco versus Nigeria and Senegal versus Egypt. Those are the semi-finals. We also have, so those are the 2 semi-finals and the 3rd place playoff, which will be played on Saturday. Interesting, AFCON. That's a Daily Nation.
All right. Taifa leo ni msimu wa kuhepa Ruto, ni swali wanauliza. Afisi ya rais imepoteza maafisa 3 wakuu katika kipindi cha miezi 12. Moses Kuria alijiondoa Julai mwaka jana, miezi 6 baada ya msimamizi wa kitengo cha utekelezaji serikalini Peter Mbae kujiuzulu Januari. Japo baadhi ya maafisa hao wanadhaniwa kuwa na nia ya dhati ya kuwania viti vya kisiasa mwaka ujao. Wengine wanasemwa kuwa miradi quote and quote ya serikali, projects the government. Kwanza
Moses Kuria ametuhumiwa sana, anaambiwa yeye ni project ya serikali. Anaambiwa yeye ndio alienda Mbeere North kuharibu, ni kama alitumwa. Hivyo ndo anasema. Akakasirika sana, akaambiwa ni ukweli tumekwambia.
Owalo, mshirika wa rais wa punde kujingatua akisema atawania urais mwaka 2027.
Watu wanamwambia hatukuamini ngo.
All right. Vidokezo zaidi, Gachagua ambia Ruto ni nipe nikupe kuhusu ghasia. Aonya Ruto kwa wafuasi wao nao watajipanga. Kule juu Oburu wapewa ruhusa ongee na Ruto kuhusu uchaguzi mwaka ujao. Kwa hatua hiyo ODM inatarajiwa kushirikiana na UDA katika uchaguzi mkuu. Trump asisitiza lazima aitie adabu Iran. Hii ni licha ya taifa hilo la Kiislamu kuonyesha dalili za kukubali masharti yote ya Amerika. Wameogopa.
You know, the kind of protests witnessed in Iran, and there's an internet shutdown in Iran. And people are saying, those who are inside Iran are saying that the deaths are not what is being reported. Because they're saying so far about 600 people have died, but they're saying the numbers are more. So the only threat is the US. US wanaambia mkiendelea hivi tutakuja. Najua the big brother, tunaweza kuja tuchukue president wenyu hivi tumpeleke New York.
All right, that's Taifa leo.
All right, tuangazie karakacha. Wachoraji wanasema